Well, good friend of the channel here, Bruno Franco, host of the show Frank Analysis. Great show on YouTube. Recommend go giving it a check out if you haven't already. Uh, Released a video talking about something that I do believe is very important. Big time throttling and censorship coming down the pipe from the YouTube powers that be. So before I get into what Franco was talking about there, I sent out a tweet a couple of days ago. Now, I didn't just realize this. This has been in the back of my mind for some time. Like, why is my channel not growing at all? Now, I hear some people say growing at a snail's pace. I'm not even growing at a snail's pace. Literally, I am at a brick wall, basically. Okay? And it doesn't matter who tweets out what. Like, honestly, I'm to the point either people don't like my content or I'm being throttled by YouTube to the point that if people are subscribing, they're not showing it. They're deliberately hiding the fact that people are subscribing, or they're just removing subscribers so the number doesn't change, which is possible because another good friend of the channel, David Spurrier, went to comment on a recent video I released and talked about how he was subscribed to my channel and all of a sudden mysteriously became unsubscribed from my channel. So I don't exactly know what's going on. All I know is YouTube is not promoting the content at all. And it's not just happening to me, it's happening to a lot of other people. Now that brings me back to what Franco was talking about in his video. So not only is there serious throttling, but now we're into the ban territory. Because it turns out YouTube has banned 2 channels recently. One, I believe, permanently. The other for 7 days. So the Convo Couch has been banned 7 days for a video they did 3 months ago. Now, Franco really dug into this and he talked about it, but I thought it was important enough that indie media needs to be getting this message out there. More of us need to be promoting what took place here. Because you know what? We're on that chopping block too. If they're throttling us down, don't you think that if they got what they want, and they could probably already find it, that they're going to look for reasons to eventually get rid of you if you just keep becoming a burr in their saddle? Seriously, that's exactly what they're going to do. If you're a pain in their butt, they're going to find a way to eventually deplatform you. Now, for the folks who say, oh, if it was just trying to hide people from speaking truth to power, why didn't they go after the big players? Why didn't they go after Jimmy Dore? Maybe Secular Talk. How about him? How about the Humanist Report or TYT or any of these channels? Why didn't they go after these folks? It would make too big of a shockwave. And that's no disrespect to the Convo Couch or the Last American Vagabond. That was the other channel. I believe he got banned permanently. Okay? No disrespect to those guys, but they're not at the subscriber level or as well known as people like Jimmy Dore and company. Case in point, Jimmy Dore, Kyle Kulinski have both gone on cable news, particularly Fox News. And a lot of people know who Cenk Uygur is from TYT, right? So if you go out and just take down their YouTube channel, that's going to send shockwaves. You're getting into the territory there, kind of like what happened when they deplatformed Alex Jones. That would really make some headlines. A little YouTuber who's got a lot more subscribers than this channel has, but still isn't to that level, it'll cause a stir in the Twitter community. It'll get people like me and Franco and the Twitter folks talking, sure. But is it going to make headline news at CNN or Fox or some newspaper? Probably not. Probably not. It's going to cause an uproar amongst the people who have vested interest in smaller indie media, but none of the bigger YouTube channels. As a matter of fact, I'm curious if we're even going to hear anything about this from Kyle Kulinski. Because, he talks about the censorship, and he talked about the censorship of a certain vice president's son story and all that. I don't even want to say the words because, hell, if you do, they'll probably yank my video down or ban me. But he's talked about this censorship, so I'm curious if he's going to talk about this or not. He should be very well pressured to. Absolutely. If you follow Kyle on Twitter, you should be blowing him up right now, telling him he needs to talk about this. Because he makes the case all the time how if it happens here, it's going to grow till eventually it gets to us. That's why he's not against this censorship. That's what he makes the case for that himself. So he certainly needs to be talking about what took place here and exposing this to his much more larger audience than mine. He needs to be pointing this out. Now, that being said, I took some advice from another YouTuber, Nico House. When I sent that tweet out about how I've been throttled between 390 and 400 subscribers and cannot break the 400 subscriber threshold for nothing, I may have just crossed the goal line one time and it lasted one day. Now, it's not like my content's just pissing off a massive amount of people where there's just a flood of people going, woo! That happened one time when I got critical of Tulsi Gabbard. But I was willing for that to happen because I like Tulsi. I don't agree with what happened. I spoke my mind, right? It's nothing against her personally. It's nothing to say that she still wasn't, in my opinion, the best one on that stage. Didn't agree with what she did. Thought it was handled poorly. I'm entitled to my opinion. And to be fair, no politician, man, woman, whatever, is above a criticism. So if there were people who were just that upset about it that they couldn't take that, sorry. But I'm not here to just smooch up to one candidate. I'm going to give praise where I think it's due. I'm going to give criticism where I think it's due. So I kind of expected that, and it did happen. But since then, there's not a day where I wake up and I drop a video talking about Nancy Pelosi that I drop by like 20 subscribers. It doesn't happen. Yet I'll go up by one or two and I'll go down by one or two. And I'm going to tell you something else I've kind of noticed. When I gain one or two, I start getting a lot of bots in my comment section. So let me get this straight. All this stuff about trying to stop fake news and promote this corporate news, right? Because we're trying to keep the Russians out of our elections and all that crap. That's what really fueled all this mess, right? So if that's the case, what are they doing? Only promoting my crap to the bots out there? Because that would perfectly explain why I go up by a couple and then go down by a couple. And I don't mean like a couple of dozen. No, I'm talking literally less than 5. It grows by 2 or 3 and then it goes back down by 2 or 3. And it's just stuck almost for the last 6 months. I've been between 390 and 400. For the last 3 to 4 months in particularly, I've almost been stuck exactly right around 395. I go up a little, I go down a little. I fall a little under 395, I go a little above 395. But it doesn't go below 390, and it doesn't go above 400. It just constantly fluctuates back and forth. And when it does go up for a little bit, I start getting these random bots in my comment section. If I don't respond, or because they keep posting weird crap, and I say block them from my channel, well, then it goes back down. So I'm not even getting real people, I'm getting bots. So what is it? Because you don't want them blowing up your corporate news? Because they're Russian interference trying to cause problems in our elections? You're going to dump them on mine because I'm a Russian agent who's working for the Kremlin, sitting here wearing a cowboy hat in South Carolina? Are you kidding me? So this is the game YouTube is playing. So back to what I was talking about. I took some advice from Nico House. He said in a tweet to me that I should look into Odysee and move all my content from YouTube over to Odysee. Well, I took him up on that. Now, I still obviously have everything on YouTube, but it copied it over to the Odysee platform. And I'm going to be uploading to YouTube and then uploading the content over to Odysee. Hopefully, Odysee is going to be a much more fair platform where people can put out content and they won't be censored, throttled, or held back. And I would invite people to go over and check out Odysee. One, I would invite YouTube creators to promote that platform because it's not like Rockfin. See, I tried Rockfin a long time ago. Rockfin would never approve me to get on their platform. They wouldn't. I still to this day can't get a channel on Rockfin. So that's out of the question for me. Okay? But as far as Odysee goes, I could go ahead and get one on Odysee. So I could at least get started on that end of things. Now for the YouTube creators, I recommend promoting that platform and doing what I did and taking Nico House's advice and start moving your content over there as well. Get it on the platform and promote the platform and get more people to the platform to start growing an audience there so that there is something that can actually be used as competition to get these messages out there, as opposed to trying to go through YouTube, who's clearly got a stranglehold on you and will not let it go. Okay? You can continue as long as you got a YouTube channel, upload it there, but get it over there and tell people, go check this out. Don't even worry about my YouTube channel. Just go check it out over there. Promote this platform and use this platform and help support this platform. And as creators, help support each other, help get each other's content out there. We got to start working together to combat this, because this censorship is going to squash all these little YouTubers who don't have budgets and money to fight back against this sort of thing. We'll get squashed. And rest assured, back to what I said about those bigger channels, when they squash us, then they will start gradually continuing to chip away more and more and more at bigger channels like Jimmy Dore and whatnot. So this is the path forward for sure. We've got to start looking at other options outside of YouTube to start getting these things out there. And maybe there's a better option than Odysee. If anybody knows of one, I'm open to suggestions. But in the meantime, that's the step I've taken. I took the Nico House advice. I'm going to be putting stuff over on Odysee. And for all the YouTube creators who, friends of mine, if you're watching this video, I recommend giving it a shot. I recommend everyone promoting that platform, getting the message out there, and then people going over and watching the videos, subscribing on the Odysee platform, supporting that platform, so there is a legitimate competitor to the YouTube monopoly that's strangling and throttling littler YouTubers like this out from the political world, because they don't want people like us exposing the corrupt powers that be.